Hey, people's people. How you doing today? First of all, I just want you all to know that I do question my own sanity constantly. Like I wonder, am I? Because it seems to me that highly intelligent. Like I've become a hermit. I can't hardly deal with people. And I look at scientific stuff. I look at the universe. I look at science. Today I'm going to talk about the hard problem. The hard problem is consciousness, and the simple problem is neuroscience, how it works. We have neurons, electrical connections. Like science is able to figure that out somewhat, decipher that somewhat, understand that somewhat, okay? But when it comes to the hard problem, everybody acts like, oh, we may never figure it out. What is consciousness? Where does consciousness come from? And you hear all these theories. Even Penrose is like cosmic consciousness. I think he is. I can't. My memory is the one thing that's not precise. I forget a lot of things. But, a lot of people feel that way. Like, like our brains are just antennas and there's cosmic consciousness. Like, there's all kinds of crackpot ideas. But I highly recommend that you watch Andy Thompson, Why We Believe in Gods. He explains evolutionary consciousness pretty well, actually. But he's not tackling the problem of hard consciousness, but he is I don't know if it's unbeknownst to him, he is describing the hard problem. He is describing it and exactly how it works. And there's a philosopher guy named Jiddu Krishnamurti, Jiddu Krishnamurti, who I think is one of the smartest humans that ever lived. Um, and he says simply that we are the content of our consciousness. And I have to agree. It's that simple. And what I mean is, okay, so you see a newborn baby. What's a newborn baby do? It just stares at everything. It's just learning. It's programming its computer, its brain. It's programming. And as it develops, its personality develops. His personality, our personalities, develop from the input. Okay? Like we like to think that we're so individual, like I am who I am. No, that's the illusion. That's the fantasy. Actually, we are the content of our consciousness. Everything about us has been input. You know, we learn, you know, whatever. It starts out with smiles and goo goo gagas and turns into mathematics, turns into these social interactions, and then so survival instinct. That's an animal instinct. All the animals have it, and we have it, and that requires memory. Like you get in a dangerous situation once, you have to kind of remember it so when you see it happening again, you are better prepared for it. If you find food, if you eat an apple, you got to remember that apples are edible, and so you can eat another apple. And that is the hard problem. It's simple. It's just evolutionary survival instincts. Okay? And from that we develop our personality. Our personality is just a product of experiences. Those experiences, there's what is it? Neuron. what's it called, editing or depletion. Like a baby has more neurons than we do. And in our adolescence or thereabouts, we start to pruning, that's the word. We prune our neurons off, the ones that we're not using. Well, that's all about experience. And that's us forming our personality. And it was our youth that in our experience that says which neurons are important and which ones aren't, and that's when the pruning process develops. Now, we can still adjust that at any age. It's called learning. And learning, see, the content of your consciousness is who you are, so it's beneficial to continue the learning process throughout your entire life, of course. Also, what else in that pruning process? Well, all animals do it. Now you know this. You had a dog. You know your dog. Sometimes it's happy. Sometimes it's sad. Different things. It's happy when you come home. It's sad when you leave. Stuff like that. All animals have consciousness. I mean, do amoebas have consciousness? I'm not sure. I think they do. They know, oh, I got something to eat over here today, so I'll get something to eat over here tomorrow, or I got to chase that thing. I can eat that thing, So I think all animals have some sort of consciousness. It's just the more advanced the brain, the more advanced the consciousness. I think elephants have a very high consciousness level. We know dolphins do. If you look at a dolphin's brain, you can look this up on YouTube or wherever. A dolphin's brain on a table next to a human brain. You could have a little kid. You could have a 5-year-old kid come into that room and you say, which brain looks more advanced? And they will point to the dolphin brain every single time. Dolphins probably have excellent memories of what's edible and what's not edible. They have the sonar kind of thing going on, the massive communication. They know what would it be, geography. They probably remember how to get around. Without their phone, without MapQuest. They might be the philosophers. They might be better philosophers than us. Whales and dolphins. They might be the greatest philosophers on the planet. Anyway, so my point here is the hard problem is not hard at all. It's quite simple. Consciousness is a product of evolutionary survival instincts. And our personalities are pretty much memory. What we've learned, how it's programmed in. And PTSD, right? Post-traumatic stress disorder. We know what that's like. Okay, when something big happens, you have all these body chemicals, adrenaline and everything surging through your body. And so the electrical charge going through your neurons makes like more connections, a bigger, stronger connection. That's what PTSD is. And guess what? That's pretty much what all memories are. You don't get to decide what's important. Your brain chemistry decides what's important for you. And your personality is the leftover. That's all it is. Your personality is the leftover of survival instincts, of biological survival instincts. And your body chemistry, your brain chemistry has decided what is important, so therefore what you remember and what you don't. And that forms who you are. That forms your overall personality. Yeah. You don't have a lot of control over that, except learning. Like you hear this now, and I suggest to you that you are the content of your consciousness. Therefore, you probably want to put effort into learning. Well, that's how you adjust your personality, by learning. Okay, well, or I might be some kind of idiot, but I kind of think that I'm smart. And I don't mean to be an asshole, and I don't mean to be, but I mean, okay, well, that's just, it just it's like a reoccurring experience to me. I don't know. Anyway, what do you think? Press the like button, subscribe to my, what do I call it? Drivel, my coherent drivel, because, it's kind of fun. And, yeah. Okay. Anyway, thanks a lot. Bye.